Hello, Simon here, and this is Maia 0.50, the latest build. We're going to start a custom mission, which is a new feature, and we can change the map sizes now. Target climate, which affects a lot of variables in the game. We're going to go for a mesothermal, which is a kind of temperate climate. We'll set the tectonic activity to medium. That will give us enough vents to use for geothermal, but not too many earthquakes, so our base isn't completely destroyed the whole time. So, regular base layout. We'll start with putting a door over here, because we'll dig out that area in a minute. But before we do that, we need to place a workshop, so we can get building things. We want to meet our power needs, so we can place a wind turbine, but I've just noticed that when I mouse overed it, we had a geothermal power generator coming up, because there's a vent there. So we may as well use that vent, because it will actually generate us 2000 watts of pretty stable power, as opposed to the wind turbines, which fluctuate a lot due to the wind. So we'll build a workshop table here, so it's not in the way of people running through the room, and if we want to place the door on the other side, it won't block that. And a nano printer, so we can start printing some imps and get some digging operations going. So you can see the colonists are starting to build the room now. And that guy's just gone out of the airlock. So they've just built this door, so we'll dig out this area. But as you can see, we're kind of on the edge of the exterior here, so we can't dig too far, otherwise we're going to expose the base and asphyxiate everyone. But there's still space to get a room in here, I think. So yeah, they'll get building. Another colonist going outside by the look of it. Oh no, she's just sitting in the airlock. So we'll go outside and build this now. You can see there's meteors, which we can now use for research. Also the trees function the same way as the meteors do. They'll come and take a core sample of the tree, which will give you ecological data about the planet, which will give you ecological perks, obviously. So we want to build a repair robot, which is one of the new features, but we'll do that in a little bit. First we want to get the base up and running. There's nothing to repair yet. And we're going to place a door here, so when the imps dug through we can use that. And talking of imps, let's print some new ones. As I've just mentioned, we've got lots more research stuff. We've got necropsies in, and the tree core samples. The meteorites are better balanced. So we want to start getting research, because research perks completely changed the later game, and you want to start getting them as soon as possible, because now I've balanced them, they actually take quite a while to collect the data and compute. So the imp's picking up the minerals, they're building the atmosphere generator I've just placed, and the geothermal generator's working well. So we don't have too many creatures about, but they are a risk. We've added more behaviours for them, so you do get weirder emergent behaviour happening. Now you really need to start thinking about base defences quite early, because one of the creatures can come up and completely trash everything you have outside pretty quickly. So the colonists are not doing much work, but they're having a nice chat. The social stuff is balanced, it's deeper. The colonists are building up kind of more kind of social ability, and can talk to more people, can have different types of reactions, they can dislike each other, you'll see them threatening each other occasionally. Right, so we can call some new colonists down. You'll notice that you can actually see this button now. If you're on a weird resolution it wasn't showing before. Basically anything that wasn't 16 by 9 or 16 by 10 wasn't showing that icon due to a GUI bug, but it's in there now. So these guys will... Oh, we've got an earthquake. Doesn't seem to have hurt anyone too badly. It's got that colonist there who's quite away from the base. Where is the base? Other way. I think. Ah, he's on the other side of it. There we go. So while we're here, we need to place some solar stills as we are not collecting any of this rain. And we need some water for the base before it runs out. We also need to start building some bounding mines. Bounding mines are proximity mines. They're very effective against creatures. So placing them around will not only kill the creature, but it will also give us kind of warning of the fact that it's happened, because we'll hear the boom. Turrets are good too, but turrets are better for closer in for your base because they need constant repairs, whereas the proximity mines will work forever. So we're kind of looking at where we think creatures might come from. Obviously those big trees are food sources, so they might come from that direction. And there's kind of lots of rocks and things, so they might avoid that. But we should be okay. Just a few for the moment. We don't have any moving things outside. They're specifically drawn to things like windmills and the seismic stations. So they've built our terminal computer, and as you can see, it will wait till you got 32 megabytes of research data in any of those areas, so technology, ecology, energy and materials. So what we need to do is get some ecology data. We can put some plant sample containers down. But really, like, anything that you can do inside your base underground is less effective than more riskier strategies, things like building outside and collecting stuff. So for example, the fossils give you a decent amount. There's one sat in that room there, but they don't give you anywhere near as much as necropsies, which are now in the game. I'll show you them slightly later though, as we still need to get this base up and running. So it looks like all our colonists are coming, and I think that's the one from the lander. Annoyingly, we only got one. You get between 1 and 3, and it's basically random seeded, so you never know what you're going to get. So they're building those defences, and I think that colonist is going to go build that solar still. There we go. So we now have a bounding mine, and its distance is set to 8 meters, so pretty much anything near it will die pretty horribly. It's going to build a wind turbine outside as well, just so we can complement what we've got. As you see, we've got the emails. They've actually been approved now, so you notice that you get an opened kind of icon, and also we have scrolling, so you don't have to delete old emails now. You can actually scroll through your emails to read older ones if you want to keep stuff. And if you read that guy feels terrible and wants to go home. That person's just a bit insane. That person's also holding back tears right now. The colonist emotions are upgraded in this build, so things like lighting are much more effective, and there's lots of kind of different ways that you can tweak lighting or how you treat them. More aesthetic items in the base, like building a flag, will improve morale a little bit. And just close that email. That person feels very isolated, so they're quite lonely. So that person's going to be upset because they're not getting social interaction. How you get social interaction? Well, that's hard, but you effectively need to keep people in areas of the base where they'll run into other people and are not talking to robots too much. They can get a little bit of social interaction from the robots now. The robots do another earthquake. And so that woman who's come from that land is actually limping currently. I think it's because there was an earthquake just as she was landing in that. So we need to build a medical room pretty much immediately, otherwise we're going to end up with lots of people limping about. So the meat trolley and the intravenous drip. The drip is useful. The drip provides effectively food to anyone who's on that trolley, food and water. So anyone who is recovering will not be building up hunger, which is important because obviously you don't want someone to be fully healed from an injury and then immediately starve to death. It's going to meteor strike. Meteor strikes are obviously bad, but at the same time they give you those meteors so you can use them for stuff. I'm just going to delete these trees and some of the plants around the base because it will attract wildlife, and also they spread and they'll damage your equipment if they grow right underneath it. Not to mention they block your colonist path, so you kind of want that open and free as possible so they can get to the things they need to fix. So they built that bed already, which is good. I think we've got another person limping. Or is that the same woman? I can't remember. So they built the meat trolley. So they'll... Oh yeah, we've got 2 people who've been injured by earthquakes now. Yeah, there you go. I need immediate medical attention. It's quite a random email. There's more email variation now. I haven't spent a lot of time focusing on it because the focus of this build was bugs, but you will kind of not see the same things popping up over and over again now. And obviously there's 5 million haiku variations, so you shouldn't see any variation in them. Well, repetition in them. So you can see the imps are clearing these, although I don't think he's probably going to clear that one because it's right by a big rock. You probably can't get to it. We'll clear these ones as well because they look like they're spreading. Well, that's built, so I don't know why they're not going to it yet. It'll take a few seconds, I think. There you go, she's turned around, realised there's a meat trolley there, she's getting on it. So she'll rest on that till she's fully healed. There was a bug before where they were not getting completely healed on it. Now they just wait until they're completely healed, because it's less optimal if they get off and then to let someone else on. Better just to heal multiple one by one. So she'll get on, she'll rest there for a few minutes. We do have first aid incoming in the next update, which will allow people to pick up incapacitated colonists and take them to that medical bay. So what we need to think about now is how to start expanding the base beyond this kind of basic setup we've got. People using beds, they're eating. We don't have a supply of food yet, but there's nothing to worry too much because we seem to have all 3 ration packs still. So we've got these power report emails. You can see that we're generating way more than we need, although the high output of that wind turbine is damaging it, as you can see the smoke pouring off it. That's kind of the trade-off. If there's a lot of wind, you get more energy, but at the same time it wears out your things. Obviously you can do more research. So that's destroying other stuff. And another earthquake. She's healed up now, which is nice. So we want to build a necropsy table. As I said, things like collecting samples from outside is more dangerous, but it's much more useful information than collecting fossils. You can see we've generated 2 megabytes of research data just from that single plant. Colonists also generate research data on their own. If they can sleep, they kind of have eureka moments while they're sleeping, and will wake up and run to the terminal computer and type in some data. And that's actually a really good way to get your research up and flowing, is to make sure your colonists are well rested. I noticed that imp glitching out again. It seems when I lock the frame rate to 30 frames a second for these videos, it causes the animation system to wig out, but the game runs at a smooth 60 frames per second for me on this machine, so hopefully for most people it will be running really well now. We've done a whole optimization pass again and kind of cleaned up. So we've got another lander, and we can see our base in the distance, so it's not too far away this time. See how many colonists we've got. So we've got another 3, I think, coming. Just going to check around here, see if we've got any creatures. Any oddities. meteor strike. Got a lot of those plants growing up, but I don't think they're really too much of an issue. You see that these kind of like little bits of the ecosystem are kind of spreading and competing against each other. At some point, kind of fighting back this kind of growing jungle of stuff will be a constant issue. So that wind turbine's getting damaged a lot, so we can build a repair pot now, which is one of our new features. We're going to have to edit though, because it'll probably be a while before anyone gets around to building it. So we've got another injured person heading to the med bay. And our necropsy table is ready. So necropsies are quite complex to do. You need to kill a creature without completely destroying its body. Then click on it to set it for research. They'll go collect the research sample, then bring it back to that table and do the necropsy, and that'll generate a lot of data about the ecology of the planet. So she's still building that. Oh no, yep, she's done. So the repair bot will go around and repair things. It's actually a utility bot. In the Kickstarter, we had a stretch goal which was to have generic robot building thing. Guys waving at people. But you know, we never got that. But I did want to have a kind of generic robot base that you could add different components to. So this one has a repair welding setup on top. There you go. It's having a bit of a weld. Hopefully, we can have more of them. Just based on kind of the component-based nature of some of our other assets. For example, you could put a turret on the top or make a firefighting one. So the robot's just idling. And there's a woman who's very angry about something. Probably so colonists get annoyed at like repetitious jobs, so fixing broken stuff annoys them. Which is why it's good to build a repair bot so they don't have to. So we've got a water barrel. I think that imp's going to go collect it. So I think now our base is set up. We're going to take a bit of a break and wait and see if we can get one of the creatures to come and hit our defenses. So yeah, our perimeter is compromised with a creature, and it's managed to walk. Oh, there we go. I was about to say it wasn't going to get hit by it. So that creature's now been killed by shrapnel, and we need to click it. So that's now set for research. Colonists will now go collect a sample from that. So here we have the colonists collecting the sample. They go out as a patrol, because obviously it might attract other creatures. Dead creatures will actually attract the proto-bird type creatures, as they are carrion eaters, so you need to be aware of that and maybe destroy the bodies. You can right-click them or set up some explosives and blast them if you don't want to. So here's a woman doing the necropsy now, which is nice, and you get different body parts depending on how the creature died. And yeah, so I'm going to leave the video here because we've hit 20 minutes. That was Maia 0.50. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you soon.